Coming up, we're going to be talking about the reboot of Dance Mums, my reaction to the latest episode of Star Wars The Acolyte, and much more. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's On at DisneyPlus.com. It's time for a quick Disney Plus news roundup. Let's start off talking about a brand new film. It's going to be coming soon to Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus in the US and on Disney Plus around the world, which is The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat. So this one's going to be dropping out on August the 23rd. The first look at the trailer is very much just kind of a story about three women kind of growing up and kind of about their lives. We get to see kind of from the trailer different aspects, you know, their love lives, work, relationships, all that kind of stuff in there. I would definitely say this is not a movie probably that I would would go out of my way to go and see, but it looks pretty nice. It's a very kind of an easygoing film. Surprised they didn't put this one out in cinemas for a short release. I think they probably could have done a little bit of money there, but I do think this is probably definitely that kind of film that goes straight to streaming, and those that like it will like it, but I don't think it's for everyone. But I thought it looked okay. But let me know what you thought of Earl's Diner. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Shifting gears now, let's now talk about Dance Mums, one of a real big surprise hit on Disney Plus. They added it on last year as part of a big bundle full of lifetime content, because Disney does actually own half of that network, and it's been constantly trending on Disney Plus since it came out, as people have been loving it. And unsurprisingly, Disney are going to be bringing it back. They announced a brand new series, Dance Mums: A New Era, going to be dropping on Wednesday the 7th of August on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus in the US. No international release date. I'm guessing it's probably going to be similar, because I think, judging by how popular this show is, I think everywhere, yeah, I think this one, that makes a lot of sense. I'll be honest, I have never watched Dance Mums. It's not really, again, on my list of things that I'd probably go out and check. But yeah, we've got a new tutor coming in, taking over the dance school. And yeah, I mean, this is the kind of thing, if you enjoy dance school stuff and Dance Mums, I think this one's going to be for you. But I'm sure it's going to be a huge hit. Yeah, I got a feeling that this one's probably going to hit well. It depends on, the thing is with these kind of reality shows is a lot of it depends on the personalities, and that's the big aspect to it. You can have the greatest premise, but if the people that are in it are dull, it will be a dull show. But if they go over the top, it can go the other way. But I'm sure it'll be a hit, but let me know what you think of this in the comments below. Shifting gears now, and let's now go down under with the Shipwreck Hunters Australia, because Disney has confirmed that second season is now underway. They're now filming it already, and they're going to be hitting Disney Plus. I suspect it will probably be a good year to let it rise, because obviously it takes a long time for them to film it. I'm loving the idea that they're going back and doing this. I thought this show probably wouldn't have come back, but obviously it's a bit cheaper for them to make. I think as well as it naturally maybe, it feels like a show that they could put out on National Geographic as well. And obviously they're investigating a number of dive wrecks and stuff around Australia. I love diving, I love all this kind of stuff, and yeah, this is definitely a show that I would like to see more of, and just great to see more Australian originals kind of getting the green light and still moving forward. Kind of felt like we were in a bit of a zone where we weren't getting as many, but it's nice to see this one confirmed. This new 6-part installment of the highly popular Australian original documentary follows a team of fearless ocean adventurers who dive deep to uncover new stories of incredible survivals and devastating tragedies along Western Australia's rugged treasure coast. As I said, I am a qualified scuba diver. I have been down onto wrecks and done stuff underneath, so this is definitely for me something I'm definitely going to want to check out, and I'm just loving the idea that we're getting more of this. But let me know, are you excited about more episodes of Shipwreck Hunters Australia? Obviously you can watch that first season on Disney Plus right now. Let me know in the comments below. Let's now talk about what's new on Disney Plus today. The major new release is a new episode of Star Wars The Acolyte. So this is the penultimate episode, and oh, this just wasn't very good. I don't quite, the whole thing was just one big flashback episode showing of it, kind of like what happened with the twins being separated from their mum, from the Jedi's point of view, from Soul's point of view. And we got to see here that he got a little bit emotionally attached to her, and you know, killed their mum, and also in some way almost like sacrificed May to save Ocean. It didn't set him up in a good light, which obviously is why he's conflicted. We get to see more of the battle between what was going on, and it was that kind of thing like, what was the point of this? This just didn't feel like Like, why are we doing this episode? You know, we've already kind of seen what's happened. They could have done both angles at the same time and just showed what happened. And we didn't need this second take of it at this angle. I mean, there was a cool scene with the Wookiee attacking them. I thought that was kind of funky. But overall, like, I just didn't quite get the point. I mean, there was very much kind of putting him, Soul, as a Jedi in kind of more so into the villain point of view, which seems to be this like weird thing with this show where it can't quite make up its mind. We got the season finale next week. I do not know how they're going to wrap this up, because at the minute, you know, one's with one, one's with the other. Are they going to come together and we're just going to rush everything in the last one? Or is there going to be a second season and they've already kind of mapped it out? But yeah, this was just like, what was the point? They could have done the exact, they could have included some of these scenes in the previous flashback episode. I mean, it wasn't long enough that they needed to, it could have had a few more minutes. I don't know, it just, it's really hard with this show because, you know, there's been some great episodes in it, like episode 4, there's been some great fight scenes in there, loving some of the characters in here, but it's just all over the place. It's just, it's really kind of, yeah, I was disappointed with this week's episode. It just was just very weak. And it just felt, again, Reese going over something that we'd already seen, that they could have put these two episodes could have been mashed together, and that would have just been the flashback episode, and then they could have had this episode setting up whatever the finale is. But I cannot see how they are going to wrap this all up in one episode now, because, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I don't know. It seemed very, very odd. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this episode. Did you enjoy it? Did you not? I'd love to know your thoughts on it. And our question today, which comes from Erin, who says, will there ever be a live-action remake of Oliver and Company? Honestly, I don't think so, because this doesn't feel like one of those big, iconic films that Disney has kind of taken to its heart and kind of merchandised to death. Because I tend to look at these kind of films, especially from the ones from that era, and I kind of judge this by merchandise, by the theme parks, of the fact of, if Disney thought there was money to be made from these characters, you would see them a lot more. They put out the odd plush, the odd pin, etc. But generally, Oliver and Company is very much kind of a forgotten film. I mean, it did pretty well when it came out. I mean, it obviously, compared to today's numbers, it didn't do him out. It's one of the first films to actually hit like 100 million. And it was a big hit at the time, but obviously it was the early 80s. Yeah, I just can't see it. I think obviously doing it's gonna be a lot of CGI, and I just don't know if Oliver Twist is really going to connect with kids today in the same way. I think they've kind of done that story to death. Yeah, I'm just not convinced that that's a story that they need to do. And also, you know, I mean, we only recently just got like the Artful Dodger series on Disney Plus. I know it's slightly different, but we've seen, you know, that story been done and covered so many times. Do we need another version of it? And I don't know, I think Oliver and Company, to me, is one just like, let that one go. It was a time, it did what it needed to at the time, but it's not, I don't think it's big enough to warrant having that live action remake. As I said, it's probably, I mean, I don't think I even saw it till about like 10, 15 years ago. I for some reason, it was, when I put like together a list of all the movies, you know, like when you find on social media, and it was like all these movies, and it was like, I don't know if I've seen that one. I think I had, but I couldn't remember it, so I watched it again on Disney Life, and yeah, it's okay, but I just can't see them doing it. But would you like to see an Oliver and Company live action remake? Would you like to see it? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to go check us out over on whatsondisneyplus.com. Check out yesterday's news video where I spoke about Agatha all along and much more. But before we go any further, thank you very much. See you guys soon. Later.